Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ranganath Haridas. I am working as assistant professor in Sweris College of Engineering, Pandharpur. So for CET crash course, in case of physics subject, today I am going to discuss one of the chapter of physics, that is elasticity. So you know that in case of physics, different chapters are there, and out of which this elasticity is there. So let us start discussing this point. So first we discuss all the basic terms related to this elasticity. Afterwards, we will check the MCQs, or we can say numerical MCQs, its options and solution for the same. So let us start discussing the term elasticity. So first, that is basic terms and equations, in which first point is intermolecular force. So let us try to understand this one. In a solid, atoms and molecules are arranged in such a way that each molecule is acted upon by the forces due to the neighboring molecules. These forces are known as intermolecular forces. Next is deformation. Now, what is meant by deformation? The phenomenon of change in shape or size of a body under the action of forces is called a deformation. So two terms are there in this present slide. First is intermolecular force and second is deformation. So in the first point, what it means, in a solid, atoms and molecules are arranged in such a way that, so atoms and molecules are arranged in the solid in such a way that each molecule is acted upon by the forces due to the neighboring molecules. So the forces are acted upon each other, that is neighboring molecules. These forces are known as intermolecular forces. So here, when we are considering the solid material, we know that it consists of atoms and molecules. So its arrangement, if we check, then here that each molecule is acted upon by the forces due to the neighboring molecules. Now this force is nothing but intermolecular force. So we are discussing the basic terms to understand the elasticity. So this is called as intermolecular force. Now what is the meaning of next term, that is called as deformation? The phenomenon of change in shape or size of a body under the action of forces is called a deformation. Means when we consider the change in shape or size of a body, of course under the action of force, is called as deformation. इंटरमॉलिक्युलर फोर्स म्हणजे काय, तर सॉलिड मटेरियलमध्ये जे ॲटम्स किंवा मॉलिक्युल्स आहेत तर त्यांच्यामधला जो फोर्स आहे तर त्याला आपण म्हणतो इंटरमॉलिक्युलर फोर्स. डिफॉर्मेशन म्हणजे काय, तर जेव्हा आपण एखादा फोर्स अप्लाय करतो तर ती जी बॉडी आहे त्याचा शेप किंवा साईज जो आहे तर तो चेंज होतो, यालाच आपण काय म्हणतो, डिफॉर्मेशन. So first is intermolecular force and second is deformation. Let us go for the next terms. Next is a deforming force and elasticity. So let us check what is meant by deforming force. The force applied to produce a change in size or shape is called a deforming force. The deforming force म्हणजे काय, तर आपण जो फोर्स अप्लाय करतो ज्याच्यामुळं साईज आणि शेप चेंज होते त्या बॉडीची इज कॉल्ड ॲज डिफॉर्मिंग फोर्स. नाव नेक्स्ट इज इलॅस्टिसिटी. The property of the body to regain its original configuration, that is length, volume, or shape, when the deforming forces are removed, is called elasticity. The change in the shape or size of a body when external forces act on it is determined by the forces between its atoms or molecules. These short range atomic forces are called as elastic forces. So first is deforming force, where we are applying this force to produce change in size and shape of body, that is called as deforming force. In case of elasticity, what is meant by elasticity? The property of the body to regain its original configuration, means here it is length or volume or shape, when the deforming forces are removed, is called elasticity. So it is a property of body. What it means? To regain its original shape and size, like length, volume, or shape, when the deforming forces are removed. So for that, we have to first know what is meant by this deforming force. So the force which changes the shape and size. Now here we are discussing that when we remove that deforming force, and after removing that deforming force, that body regain its original shape and size. This property is called as elasticity. इलॅस्टिसिटी म्हणजे काय? तर अशी प्रॉपर्टी त्या बॉडीची की जेव्हा आपण त्याच्यावर अप्लाय केलेला फोर्स आहे तर तो रिमूव्ह करतो आणि तो रिमूव्ह केल्यानंतर ती बॉडी तिचा जो ओरिजिनल शेप साईज असेल, ज्यामध्ये लेंथ असेल, व्हॉल्यूम असेल, तर तो परत एकदा ती पोझिशन प्राप्त करतो. तर ही जी प्रॉपर्टी आहे त्या बॉडीची, त्यालाच आपण काय म्हणतो? इलॅस्टिसिटी. Next, the change in the shape or size of a body when external forces act on it is determined by the forces between its atoms or molecules. तर हा जो चेंज होतो शेप आणि साईज मधला, जेव्हा आपण एक्सटर्नल फोर्स त्याच्यावर अप्लाय करतो, हे कसं डिटरमाइन करतो आपण? बाय द फोर्सेस बिटवीन इट्स atoms or molecules, that is what we have discussed here, intermolecular force. तर त्याच्यावर तो डिपेंडंट असतो. These short range atomic forces are called elastic forces. या atomic forces ला आपण काय म्हणतो? Elastic forces असं आपण म्हणतो. So these two terms are there in this slide. First is deforming force and second is elasticity. Now let us go for the next terms. Perfectly elastic body, then plasticity, and then stress. So what is meant by perfectly elastic body? A body which regains its original configuration immediately and completely after the removal of deforming force from it is called a perfectly elastic body. For example, quartz, phosphor, bronze are the examples of nearly perfectly elastic bodies. Now try to understand this when we are considering the elastic body. In that case, what is meant by perfectly elastic body that we are discussing? A body which regains its original configuration immediately and completely after the removal of deforming force from it is called a perfectly elastic body. Perfectly elastic body म्हणजे काय? तर जेव्हा आपण डिफॉर्मिंग फोर्स त्याच्यावर जो अप्लाय केलाय तो काढून घेतो, त्यावेळेस लगेच जर ती बॉडी त्याचं ओरिजिनल कॉन्फिगरेशन अटेन करत असेल, तर त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, परफेक्टली इलॅस्टिक बॉडी. In nature, if you consider, so it is not in existence, but nearly perfectly elastic bodies we can consider like quartz, phosphor, bronze. These are the examples which we can say as nearly perfectly elastic bodies. Next term is plasticity. So we go for that. The inability of a body to return to its original size and shape even on a removal of the deforming force is called a plasticity, and such a body is called a plastic body. Now elasticity we have discussed. Now what is mean by this plasticity? The inability of a body to return to its original size and shape. तर अशी बॉडी किंवा असं मटेरियल की जे काय करते त्याचं ओरिजिनल साईज आणि शेप आहे, तर ते परत प्राप्त करू शकत नाही कधी, इवन ऑन रिमूव्हल ऑफ द डिफॉर्मिंग फोर्स, जरी डिफॉर्मिंग फोर्स आपण काढून घेतला तरी, इज कॉल्ड अ प्लास्टिसिटी अँड सच ए बॉडी इज कॉल्ड ए प्लास्टिक बॉडी. तर ती जी प्रॉपर्टी आहे त्या प्रॉपर्टीला आपण काय म्हणतो, प्लास्टिसिटी, आणि ती जी बॉडी आहे तिला आपण काय म्हणतो तर प्लास्टिक बॉडी. नेक्स्ट इज स्ट्रेस. Stress is defined as the ratio of the internal force capital F produced when the substance is deformed to the area A over which this force acts. In equilibrium, this force is equal in magnitude to the externally applied force. Okay, so in other words, we can write stress is nothing but capital F upon capital A, where F is nothing but internal force and A is nothing but the area. So we are considering this particular point to understand what is meant by elasticity and what is meant by stress. Okay, the stress म्हणजे काय, stress is defined as the ratio of, so it is the ratio of the internal force capital F produced when the substance is deformed, that is capital F, to the area capital A over which this force acts, divided by capital A, that is the area. So in equilibrium, this force is equal in magnitude to the externally applied force. In other words, we are writing it as stress is nothing but capital F upon A, where F is that internal force divided by area. Now this stress is of two types, normal stress and tangential stress, where normal stress means it is defined as the restoring force per unit area perpendicular to the surface of the body. Normal stress is of two types, tensile stress and compressive stress. Then next is tangential stress, where when the elastic restoring force or deforming force acts parallel to the surface area, the stress is called as tangential stress. तर नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस ज्याच्यामध्ये आपण याला परपेंडिक्युलर अप्लाय करतो टू द सरफेस ऑफ द बॉडी, अँड टँजेन्शियल स्ट्रेस वेअर इलॅस्टिक रिस्टोरिंग फोर्स और डिफॉर्मिंग फोर्स ऍक्ट्स पॅरलल टू द सरफेस एरिया, तेव्हा त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, टँजेन्शियल स्ट्रेस. नेक्स्ट वन इज स्ट्रेन. Now strain is defined as the ratio of the change in size or shape to the original size or shape. It has no dimensions, it is just a number. So what is meant by strain? Strain म्हणजे काय, तर हा सुद्धा एक रेशो आहे कशाचा, तर चेंज इन साइज और शेप, जो काही चेंज झालेला आहे साइज किंवा शेप मध्ये, टू द ओरिजिनल साईज ऑर शेप. जो ओरिजिनल साईज आणि शेप आहे त्याच्या कंपॅरिझननं हा जो रेशो आहे त्याला आपण म्हणतो स्ट्रेन. इट हॅज नो डायमेन्शन्स, इट इज जस्ट अ नंबर. Strain is of three types. First is longitudinal strain, then next is volume strain, and next is shear strain. Now let us understand these things. Okay, so strain is nothing but it is defined as it is ratio of change in size or shape to the original size or shape. It has no dimensions, it is just a number. Now first is longitudinal strain. What it means? If the deforming force produces a change in length alone, the strain produced in the body is called a longitudinal strain or tensile strain. So it is given as longitudinal strain, which is nothing but change in length, that is delta L, divided by original length. So when it is related to length alone, we are considering the factor of strain as longitudinal strain. So if the deforming forces produce a change in length alone, जर फक्त length वर त्याचा परिणाम होत असेल, the strain produced in the body is called as longitudinal strain. त्याला काय म्हणतो आपण? Longitudinal strain. It is given as simple equation आहे change in length divided by original length. So you can see in the figure L and L plus delta L. So delta L is nothing but change in length. Next, volumetric strain. If the deforming force produces a change in the volume alone, the strain produced in the body is called as volumetric strain. And of course, it is given as volumetric strain, which is equal to change in volume divided by original volume. So here, in case of volumetric strain म्हणजे काय? If the deforming force produces, जर तो deforming force produce करत असेल काय? Change in volume. जर change in volume होत असेल तर त्याला काय म्हणतो आपण? Volume strain, which is nothing but change in volume delta V divided by original volume capital V. Now next go to the third one, shear strain. The angle tilt caused in the body due to tangential stress expressed is called as shear strain, and it is given as shear strain is nothing but theta, which is equal to delta L upon capital L. So let us complete this two line also. The maximum stress to which the body can regain its original status on the removal of the deforming force is called as elastic limit. So third, complete it first. Shear strain. Shear strain म्हणजे काय? The angle tilt caused in the body due to tangential stress expressed is called as shear strain. So here we can see that we are applying the force and we can get the change in angle. So it is due to tangential stress, and that is called as shear strain, which is given as shear strain theta is equal to delta L upon L. Next, what it is? The maximum stress to which the body can regain its original status. Maximum stress आपण जेव्हा बॉडीवर अप्लाय करतो आणि त्यानंतर जर ती बॉडी परत एकदा त्याचं ओरिजिनल स्टॅटस प्राप्त करत असेल ऑन द रिमूव्हल ऑफ द डिफॉर्मिंग फोर्स रिमूव्ह केल्यावर त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो? इज कॉल्ड इलॅस्टिक लिमिट. ते त्या बॉडीचं काय आहे? इलॅस्टिक लिमिट. वी कॅन कॉल इट ॲज इलॅस्टिक लिमिट. द नेक्स्ट, हुक्स लॉ. हुक्स लॉ स्टेट्स दॅट विदिन इलॅस्टिक लिमिट, तर हा आपण इथं वर्ड यूज केलेला आहे. दॅट्स वाय वी हॅव डिस्कस्ड फर्स्ट व्हॉट इज मीन बाय इलॅस्टिक लिमिट. Hooke's law states that within elastic limits, the ratio of stress to the corresponding strain produced is a constant. This constant is called the modulus of elasticity. Thus, this modulus of elasticity is equal to stress upon strain. Since strain is a pure number, the units of this constant are the same as those of stress, that is Newton per meter square. So here we are discussing the Hooke's law. So what it states, within elastic limits, we are stating that within elastic limit. So what is meant by elastic limit? ते आपण बघितलं just previous to that, the maximum stress to which the body can regain its original status on the removal of the deforming force is called a elastic limit. याला आपण काय म्हणतो? Elastic limit. So within elastic limit, the ratio of stress to the corresponding strain produced is a constant. And it is given by stress divided by strain. What is the unit of this modulus of elasticity? So since strain is a pure number, the units of this constant are the same as those of stress, that is Newton per meter square. Then we go for next is the Young's modulus for a solid in the form of a wire or a thin rod. Young's modulus of elasticity within elastic limit is defined as the ratio of longitudinal stress to longitudinal strain. It is given as Young's modulus. It is nothing but capital F upon A, that is longitudinal stress, internal force upon area, divided by longitudinal strain, that is change in length, divided by original length. So how we can write this? So we can adjust the term. So small l comes to the numerator and capital A goes to the denominator. So it becomes FL divided by capital A into delta L, which is equal to MGL upon pi r square, that is area, into change in length, that is delta L. It has the unit of longitudinal strains and dimensions are M, L minus 1 and T minus 2. Its unit is Pascal or Newton per meter square. So first is Young's modulus, second is bulk modulus. So within elastic limit, the bulk modulus is defined as the ratio of longitudinal stress to the volumetric strain. It is given as bulk modulus is nothing but F upon capital A divided by delta V upon capital V, which is given as P divided by delta V divided by V. So here two terms we have discussed. The first is Young's modulus, second is bulk modulus, depends upon the ratio of that respective point. Next, modulus of rigidity, that is, it is defined as the ratio of the tangential stress to the shear strain. So this modulus of rigidity is given by tangential stress, that is F upon A, divided by shear strain, that is theta in terms of angle, and we can get the modulus of rigidity. So when we consider the stress and strain ratio, then we can get the different points depends upon the different types of stress and strain. Let us go to the next point, which is Poisson's ratio. So what is meant by Poisson's ratio? The ratio of change in a diameter to the original diameter is called as lateral strain. The ratio of change in length to the original length is called as longitudinal strain. And the ratio of lateral strain to the longitudinal strain is called a Poisson's ratio. So it is given by simply lateral strain. Lateral strain means what? The ratio of change in diameter to the original diameter. Change in diameter जो आहे divided by original diameter याला आपण म्हणतो lateral strain. आणि longitudinal strain म्हणजे काय? तर change in length divided by original length याला आपण म्हणतो lateral strain. Poisson's ratio म्हणजे काय? The ratio of lateral strain. The ratio of lateral strain to the longitudinal strain, that is delta D by D divided by delta L upon small l, that is called as Poisson's ratio. So for most of the substances, the value of Poisson's ratio lies between 0.2 to 0.4. When a body is perfectly incompressible, the value of Poisson's ratio is maximum and equal to 0.5. Then the relation between these elastic moduli, so you know these equations, these are the relation between these Young's modulus, bulk modulus and modulus of rigidity plus Poisson's ratio. So for isotropic materials, that is materials having the same properties in all directions, only two of the three elastic constants are independent. For example, Young's modulus can be expressed in terms of the bulk and shear moduli. So a relation between Yk, N and sigma is given by these equations. Now, next point is breaking stress. So the ultimate tensile strength of the material is the stress required to break a wire or a rod by pulling on it. The breaking stress of the material is the maximum stress which a material can withstand. Beyond this point, breakage occurs. Means breaking stress means what? The ultimate tensile strength of a material, त्या materialची जी ultimate strength आहे, is the stress required to break a wire or a rod by pulling on it. The breaking stress of the material is, breaking stress म्हणजे काय त्या मटेरियलची maximum stress आहे which a material can withstand, की जिथपर्यंत ते मटेरियल आहे तर ते सहन करू शकते त्याला, it can bear the things. Beyond this point breakage occurs. त्याच्या पुढे जर आपण तो फोर्स कंटिन्यू केला तर काय होतं, तर it breaks. So that's why the name is breaking stress. Okay. So when a wire of original length capital L is stretched by a length L by the application of force F at one end, then work done to stretch the wire is nothing but 1/2 into stretching force into extension. So it is given by 1/2 YAL square divided by L. Work done per unit volume of wire is given as W is equal to 1/2 into stress into strain. Okay, so these are the points. Now we have to discuss the multiple choice questions. So let us revise what we have discussed. So we have started with the basic terms, that is intermolecular force, first point. Then what is meant by deformation, how the shape and size changes of the material due to deforming force. Then elasticity, the property to regain the property of body to regain its original shape and size. Then plasticity, that body cannot regain its original shape and size. Stress and strain definition. Then types of strain. Then Hooke's law. Modulus of elasticity, that is Young's modulus, bulk modulus, and modulus of rigidity. Poisson's ratio, relation between these two, these four constants. Okay, now let us understand these basic terms in terms of equation, numericals, or MCQs. So now we will discuss these things one by one. So first MCQ, the force required to punch a hole of a diameter 2 mm will be given thing if a shearing stress is 4 into 10 raised to 8 Newton per meter square. So what is the MCQ? The force means we have to calculate the force required to punch a hole. We have to punch a hole of diameter 2 mm will be, so we have to calculate the force where we have to punch a hole for diameter of 2 mm, and what is given shearing stress is given to us, which is 4 into 10 raised to 8 Newton per meter square. Options are A 400 pi Newton, then 1600 pi Newton, 1800 and 1200. So let us understand what are the steps. We have to know the equation that is stress is equal to F upon A. But here we have to calculate F. So we are adjusting this equation. We get F is equal to stress into pi r square. Now we can put the values. So F is equal to stress, that is 4 into 10 raised to 8 into pi into r square. So it is a value 1 into 10 raised to minus 3. It's a square. So diameter is 2 mm. So radius is 1 mm. That's why we have taken these values. After calculation, adjusting the power term, we can get the value of F as 400 pi Newton, which is our option A. Okay, so this is the first MCQ. Now we go for the second one. Next is, what will be the greatest length of a steel wire which when fixed at one end can hang freely without breaking? Given is its density and the breaking stress of the steel, where rho is 7.8 into 10 to 3 kilogram per meter cube. Breaking stress is 7.8 into 10 to 8 Newton per meter square. So how we can write it? What will be the greatest length of a steel wire? So we have to calculate the greatest length, which when fixed at one end, एका एंडला आपण त्याला फिक्स केले, can hang freely without breaking. Without breaking म्हणजेच आपण इथं ती condition consider करतोय. Different options are given to us. So how we can write that? So breaking stress is nothing but L rho G, and we have to calculate here greatest length, that is L. So capital L is nothing but breaking stress divided by rho into G. So what is the value of breaking stress? Breaking stress value is 7.8 into 10 raised to 8 divided by value of rho is 7.8 into 10 raised to 3 into value of G, that is 9.8. So after calculation, we can get the value of L as 1.02 into 10 raised to 4 meter. So that is the option B answer. Then next, the greatest length of a steel wire that can hang without breaking is 10 kilometer if the breaking stress for steel is 8.25 into 10 raised to 8. So here it is 10 raised to 8. Correction is there. 8.25 into 10 raised to 8 Newton per meter square. Then the density of the steel is, we have to calculate the rho. G here purposefully given as 10 meter per second square for calculation purpose. So different options are there, and we have to determine this. So what are the given things? The greatest length of a steel wire that can hang without breaking is 10 kilometer. That value is with us. If the breaking stress for the steel, so breaking stress value is also given. Then the density we have to calculate, and G is 10 meter per second square. So breaking stress, we know it is L rho G. Now we have to determine the rho, which is equal to breaking stress divided by L into G. So what is the value of a breaking stress? It is 8.25 into 10 raised to 8 Newton per meter square divided by 10 kilometer, means 10 into 10 raised to 3 into G, that is 10 as it is. So after calculation, we can get the value of density as 8250 kilogram per meter cube. So that is the option B, which is the correct one. Next, MCQ number 4. Now listen it carefully. The length of a wire increases by 1% on loading 2 kilogram weight on it. The linear strain in the wire is, so it is related to change in length by original length, and here it increases by 1% only. So different options are given. What we have to understand that what is meant by change in length to the original length. So strain, we know that strain is nothing but change in length divided by original length. ही आपण इथं कशी काढतो, तर 1% आपल्याला इथं म्हटलेलं आहे. Okay, so if we consider the original length has 1, so it increases by 1%, means 0.01 is the value. So we are putting that in the equation, that is the strain is equal to 0.01 divided by 1, which is equal to 0.01, which is our option B. Let us go to the next. A braking force for a given wire is capital F. The braking force for the wire having double the thickness is. So here we are considering double the thickness. So a braking force for a given wire is F. Capital F is YAL upon L. We know how we can get this equation. Then as F is proportional to R square, okay, so this F is proportional to R square, this is pi R square area. Answer is 4F, because it is a R square when we can double it. So a braking force for a given wire is F. F हा का वायरचा ब्रेकिंग फोर्स आहे. द ब्रेकिंग फोर्स फॉर द वायर हॅव्हिंग डबल द थिकनेसेस, त्याचा जर थिकनेस आपण वाढवला तर काय होणार आहे, तर हे कशाशी रिलेटेड आहे. सो इट इज रिलेटेड टू आर. सो एफ इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू आर स्क्वेअर. सो it is 4F, which is option A. Okay. Then next MCQ. The braking force of a wire is 10 raised to 4 Newton and the radius is 1 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. If the radius is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter, then the braking force will be. Okay, now here we have to consider the ratio of these two conditions. First is the braking force of a wire is 10 raised to 4 Newton and the radius is 1 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. If the radius is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter, then the braking force will be, means we have to determine the braking force if the radius is twice. So here we are comparing this equation, that is F2 upon F1 is nothing but R2 upon R1 its square. So we know the values, that is F2 upon F1, where this is R2 upon R1 its square. We are putting the values and we can get the value as 4, which is ratio F2 upon F1. So keep F2 as it is and F1 shift to RHS. So 4 into F1, we know the value of F1, which is 10 raised to 4 Newton. So it becomes 4 into 10 raised to 4 Newton, which is our option A. Got it? So let us try to understand the next one. a metal wire can be broken by applying a load of 45 kg weight. Then the force required to break the wire of twice the diameter for the same material is dash dash. So here, what is the question? A metal wire can be broken by applying a load of 45 kg weight. 45 kg weight जर आपण apply केलं तर metal wire break होते. Then the force required to break the wire of twice the diameter for the same material. जर material same ठेवलं आणि जर diameter twice असेल तर किती force लागेल ते आपल्याला इथं काढायचे. So for that, what we can do, once again we are comparing the ratio of F2 divided by F1, which is equal to R2 by R1 its square. हे आपण इक्वेशन कुठून काढलेलं आहे तर हे आपण कंपेअर केलेलं ॲज एफ इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू आर स्क्वेअर. हे आर कुठून आलं तर ए मध्ये आहे आर स्क्वेअर एरिया. So here F2 upon F1 is nothing but R2 upon R1 its square. So as usual it comes 4 into F1. What is the value of F1? It is a 45. So what we can get as F2, that is 180 kilogram weight, which is our option D. So here, by knowing only a simple relation, we can easily determine this value. Then let us go to the next one. A cable breaks if stretched by more than 2 mm. It is cut into two equal parts. By how much either part can be stretched without breaking? Means what? A cable breaks, cable इथे break होते if stretched by more than 2 mm, 2 mm पेक्षा जास्त जर आपण त्याला स्ट्रेच केलं तर ती ब्रेक होते. इट इज कट इंटू टू इक्वल पार्ट्स. अशा केबलला आपण दोन पार्ट मध्ये ब्रेक केलं. बाय हाऊ मच आयदर पार्ट कॅन बी स्ट्रेच्ड विदाउट ब्रेकिंग. म्हणजे आपण याला कुठला पण एक जर कट केलेला भाग घेतला तर किती आपण स्ट्रेच करू शकतो विदाउट ब्रेकिंग, ब्रेक न करता किती आपण त्याला स्ट्रेच करू शकतो. सो डिफरंट ऑप्शन्स आर गिवन. So how we can do that? For that we have to know the relation between change in length upon original length. So here we can write this as L1 upon L is equal to L by 2 upon L, which is equal to 1/2. इथं काय केले आपण? If stretched by more than 2 mm. Okay, so when we are considering this relation, so it is a L by 2. आपण याला कट केलं and it is becoming the half. Now this L1 is nothing but L by 2, which is equal to 2 by 2. Change in length किती आहे तर 2 mm. So here when we can put this value in either part, then we can get the answer as 1 mm, which is option C. Then go for the next one. If a wire is compressed to half of its length, then the strain will be. So when we consider the wire and we have compressed half of its length, then the strain we have to calculate. How we can calculate? We know that strain is nothing but change in length divided by original length. So as L is nothing but half the original length, that is L by 2. So if we put here, that is small l is nothing but L by 2 divided by L, it becomes 1/2 or simply 0.5. So these are some of the MCQs that we have discussed regarding elasticity point. So quickly we revise these things and then we complete this point. So basic terms we have started with, in which first is intermolecular force, force between atoms and molecules. Deformation, that is change in shape and size of the body under the action of forces, which is called as deformation. That particular force is called as deforming force. Then next, elasticity. So elasticity is a property of a body to regain its original shape and size, is called as elasticity. So here the atomic forces are the elastic forces we have mentioned. Now perfectly elastic body is not in existence, but quartz or phosphorus or bronze are some examples which are nearly perfect elastic bodies. Then plasticity is nothing but inability of a body. So the body or the property of the body not to regain the original shape and size after removing deforming force, of course, is called as plasticity. Then stress. Stress we are defining as the ratio of internal force capital F to the area capital A, that is F upon A. So types of stress we have discussed, where normal stress and tangential stress are there. Then strain part we have completed, where strain is nothing but it is also the ratio of change in size or shape to the original shape or size. So three types are there: longitudinal strain related to length only, change in length only. Then volume strain related to change in volume, and shear strain, which is tilting, that is tangent stress expressed, which is called as shear strain. Then Hooke's law, which states that this within elastic limit, the ratio of stress to the corresponding strain produced is a constant. So its unit is Newton per meter square. Then Young's modulus, in which we are defining as the ratio of longitudinal strain to the longitudinal stress to the longitudinal strain, which is given by F upon capital A divided by delta L upon L, where F is the force, A is area, delta L is change in length, and L is the original one. After adjusting, we can get the values. Bulk modulus, so it is the ratio of longitudinal strains to the volume strain. Then shear modulus or modulus of rigidity, which is nothing but the ratio of tangential stress to the shear strain, which is called as modulus of rigidity. Then next is Poisson's ratio. So Poisson's ratio means the change in diameter to the original diameter. In the numerator we are taking for the Poisson's ratio, the ratio of change in length to the original length is called as longitudinal strain to the denominator of this ratio, because Poisson's ratio is nothing but the ratio of lateral strain to the longitudinal strain, which is called as Poisson's ratio. For most of the substances, its values lies between 0.2 to 4. When it is perfectly incompressible, then its maximum value is 0.5. Then relations between elastic moduli. What is meant by a relation between Ykn and sigma, that is Young's modulus, bulk modulus, modulus of rigidity, and Poisson's ratio. Then breaking stress. Okay, so breaking stress means beyond this point breakage occurs. We can stretch that up to certain limit. Beyond that, it breaks. And of course, the MCQs or numericals related to this one. So I hope that we have cleared some of the basic terms related to elasticity to understand the meaning of each and every terms, and some of the numericals MCQ which clears the point about the relation between these terms which are comes under the elasticity. So we complete our point here. Thank you very much.